A very good evening to all of you Toastmasters, guests who are present, and to our dear President who will be presiding over this meeting for the last time in this Toastmaster year. Now, TM Veera Pinto. Of course, the entire board is also with her, present today. Probably, I'm not sure if everybody is here, but it's 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 like the ocean. It continuously rotates, its waves continuously hit the shore. Toastmasters is like that. So it's things are not going to change in a hurry. The ocean is going to flow, but and we will flow with the ocean. But having said that, you need that enthusiasm that we had last year to continue in the next Toastmaster year. And I want to quote Ronald Dahl. He's a British novelist, and he wrote a book called My Uncle Oswald. And he says, I began to realize how important it was to be an enthusiast in life. He taught me, he's talking about his uncle, he taught me that if you are interested in something, no matter what it is, go at it at full speed ahead. Embrace it with both arms, hug it, love it, and above all, become passionate about it. Lukewarm is no good, hot is no good either. White hot and passionate is the only thing to be. And how true is that? If you're lukewarm about something, you don't get ahead. If you're white hot, you'll be ahead only for a short period. But if you're passionate about something, then you can reach far. And I think all Toastmasters present here are very passionate about everything they do within the Toastmasters movement. I myself have seen all the veterans. I've seen even Veera, going out of her way, maybe 24 hours or 48 hours in the day. I don't know if there are 48 hours in the day, but she used to make it like that. And with all her messages, her persuasion, and all the veterans here for that matter, some of them are doing multiple activities outside Toastmasters, within Toastmasters. They are really passionate about Toastmasters. When they come back to the meeting, they're as disciplined as ever. And ladies and gentlemen, before I hand over to PM Veera, I would like you to be disciplined also through this meeting. Keep your mics on mute, your videos on as far as possible, and try to be as attentive because
Brian, you can't be
thank you,
heard.
thank you. Nish.
Can I? I didn't hear you at the end. Okay. Yes. Yes, Brian. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My last address, I welcome you all to the 117th Toastmasters meeting with a heart full of, I think, full of grief, I would say. But at the same time, I am joyful. And Brian, thank you for being here for the entire year. I think it's only one meeting that was one of the speech marathon. You were out of town, you missed it, but you did your job from wherever you were. Thank you for all the support, Brian. Without you, it had been impossible to continue from the post, like from the road I would head on. Thank you once again. More breadfruits to you in the season to come. So, friends, the year has passed by so quickly and already nostalgic. And already I feel that void in me. It's not because I'm going to step down, but for the love and support you guys have showered on me throughout this year. To my board, I would say a big thank you for doing whatever you all could do within your means. But you have taught me to be challenging. You taught me to overcome trials. I wouldn't say temptations. It's not the right age to say about temptations, but I would say overcome trials. And you taught me to learn and to believe in myself and to be confident. Today, whatever I am, for this past 1 year, for the role I have taken up as a president of this club, I owe it to you all for all your support, dear Toastmasters. Now, I wouldn't speak more because I want to keep some of it as I step down in as a president on the installation day. So, do we have any guests here today? Any guests? If at all we have any guests, they could introduce themselves without much delay?
Hi, myself Bhavna Jalan. I would like to join Toastmaster. So I'm the guest today.
Yeah.
So I've joined through Anu Sharma. She has
Yes.
told me about it, and I'm very glad to be in the part of this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, what? Jalal? Bhavana.
Bhavna, yeah.
Yeah, Mount Jalal. I got in touch with you. I was anyway. I was waiting for you the last meeting. Anyway, you didn't see the link, I believe. So we will be
Yes.
happy to have you with us soon. And by then, it will be our next president, Maria Phyllis de Costa, my close friend, who will be taking over as a president. So thank you for
Sure.
being the.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah. Anybody else here? Malini, is anybody here other than Bhavana?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. I will, okay, without much ado, I would like to hand over for the prayer to be led by our Toastmaster, Jan Norona. Over to you, Jan, to render the prayer.
We come before you today, and there's just one thing that we want to say. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. We come before you, Lord, with thanksgiving in our hearts for keeping us safe, healthy, and content all these days with thy protection in all ways. Today, we specially thank you for this year. Though it was filled with stress, scare, and fear, this club has progressed in absolute cheer. Thank you for being the guiding light for our president, Lyra Pinto, who led the club with her team in full gusto. We thank you for the opportunities we got to meet and greet, whether online or offline, when our lovely members hosted lovely treats. For every member, new or old, the year has truly been one of a kind, as precious as gold. We pray for the year ahead and everything that has to unfold. Be the ray of hope for our new elected president, Phyllis de Costa, radiant and bold. We pray that the world outside be filled with peace, joy, and love, with your guidance from above. With this, we want to say, dear Lord, for what you are and what you do, a big thank you.
Thank you, Jan. That was Jan's prayer from the heart in her own words. Yes, we need to thank the Lord for all the blessings He has showered upon us. And I forgot to mention one thing, dear friends. In the month of October, there was an adrenal rush when these newbies joined our club. Since then, the club, which is already vibrant and enthused, became more enthusiastic in its full splendor and glory. So thank you to all the newbies who, because of their interaction and their inputs, the club has gone still further. Thank you, Jan, for your prayer. Now it's time for our members' achievements. I'm sure there are lots of achievements all lined up. So over to you, dear members. The stage is yours.
I think quite a few achievements are common to many of us, but I think I should speak for myself. I won't take their names because let them have the joy. I successfully completed a course on that is POSH, Prevention of Sexual Harassment. It was organized by ISTD at the national level. I took that course and successfully completed that course. You know that I completed a path, and I was also honored by Rotary, which all of you know, but because you are asking for achievements, I'm mentioning as a woman of substance. Over to other people who have almost the same.
Congratulations, Malini, of course, a woman of substance. Round of applause for Triple DTM Malini Hebbar, who is going to be the quadruple. What is it for the four times a DTM very soon. So congratulations, Malini. I'm not yet once so far. Yeah, over to the others. Come on,
Yeah.
members.
All
Bring
right.
your
If
wisdom.
nobody else is starting,
Yes,
did
Pat.
somebody say something?
No,
Yeah.
Pat,
Then I
go on.
continue. After
I'll
you.
continue. Yeah, I too underwent a course offered by ISTD, like many of us have already undergone, Vidya and Preetham and Malini and maybe Molly too, I'm not sure. A trainer's course for which there is a certification, and the achievement is the uploading and the downloading of the certificate. As far as I can see, I felt proud of myself for doing that. I'm also undergoing training in a writer's course by Amit Verma, a writer of national stature, and I'm submitting assignments, which makes me feel like a student all over again. So these are two things that I can speak about. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Bharti. Congratulations. Round of applause. I'm going to applaud for the last time here, sitting as a president. Okay, so please join me. Talia.
We never know if it is last time, Lyra. This year, maybe, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Over to
District
Savita.
121. Yeah, District 121 is select distinguished today. One of the clubs have renewed, so now it's 19 laws. So renewed by 20 members, where every member counts at this time. It's a great achievement for me.
Congratulations. I know you will
So now
meet
I'm
your
65
you'll
plus,
meet
yeah.
your goal definitely. Do not worry. But the way you're working, definite. I know about it. Looking forward to it, Savita. Members, come on.
Lyra, I completed my path, but I have to give it to Sayadri. So I had to
Okay.
pull up that club. So the points go there.
Yeah,
But
congratulations.
I completed a path during your tenure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Too many gifts
And
coming
yeah,
my way.
Manvi, I didn't do the posh course, but I'm very busy with the district, helping Savita build, make the district into maybe a Smedley's district, hopefully. We are all working on complete, what do you call it, chartering 11th club for the Division F. We want your support from all Toastmasters because we need to build more clubs in Division. Now, I can't say Division F, we call it a loving family, L and F. So for this region, I'm pitching for next year also, Lyra, that's for you. We need to build another 14 more clubs by the end of next year so that we become very important in the district. With that, over to you, Laila.
Thank you. Thank you, Molly. Congratulations on completion of your path. So can we give
Urmila had put up a hand.
Yes, yes.
Unusually for me, I did a part of a podcast on Premier Book House. The owner died after a long time, and I did one for the Bangalore International Center, and the second one was for a clubhouse session on empire builders, Alexander the Great and Chandragupta Maurya. So that was well received. So after a long time, I was doing things like that.
Yeah, thank you, Urmila. From the feedback we received, yes, it was well received. But unfortunately, I couldn't, since I texted you, I couldn't attend it. But I always wish there was a recording, but you can always do it for us once again. No issues. We are the whole year under Phyllis. Thank you. Other members? You're looking very pretty today.
Amita.
Yeah. Shivani is speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
Shivani is speaking. Yes, Shivani.
Yes. Good evening, dear Toastmasters. Even I have completed the POSH certification course offered by ISTD. So that was a great learning, I can say, because the technicalities of legal, which were above our head, and we got to know many things about from that POSH course. So that is one thing. And I'm conducting a workshop on decode your unique body code. So I'm conducting it next week. That is with regard to dressing. So as I am an image consultant, so I thought I'll share this with you. And I am privileged to have Molly and Preetham as my participants.
Oh,
So,
great.
Shivani,
yes, ma'am.
probably you forgot to mention you were recognized as Major Paul Harris Fellow. Weren't you honored for that?
Yes, ma'am. So
In the
I was,
Rotary
along with
Conference.
my husband, I was honored as a major donor, level 2, I think so, in a district conference, Rotary District Conference 3181. So that is what.
Okay. Congratulations. Proud of you, of your achievements, Shivani. Now, so all of you are posh, doing the course under posh, you all are posh.
Yes. Vidya and me are very posh as well. So,
Yeah,
and we are going to get posher by attending Shivani's workshop. So we're going to be really, really posh. I also have the privilege of being the MC for a 1.5 day district conference of Rotary District 3181. And I also got to honor Malli ma'am, actually. So for me, that was also an added privilege. When they said, no, you are the one who's supposed to introduce her to the entire gathering. So that was the one thing. I also did a second part of the series of AICT training from Sayagri, and took up for these college lecturers, and it was very well received. I got a very, very good feedback. I also have another session for them, the third and the final session, which will be happening on the 30th of June. So these have been things that are happening. Also, Toastmasters would like to tell you all that my housewarming is up at the end of this month. And though we will not be able to, invite all of you, I would like to tell you that it is on the anvil. And I promised DeCosta ma'am that if it's all done and well per year, definitely will be hosting a meeting for all PTAT members at my place. So thank you very much for that.
If I could just add one line to Preetham's achievement list. Preetham, at the district level, the video that is getting circulated is your introduction of me instead of my response to you. The video that is getting circulated is your introduction of me. I don't know whether I should be happy or unhappy about it, but that's the reality.
Ma'am, please send it to me.
Yeah, good to know that.
No, the sad part there was Malini ma'am didn't get to respond to whatever I said about her, because she sent a pre-recorded one. So it was not a reply to what I said. I think she would have done a marvelous job.
Thank you,
Lyra, I also have. Lyra, here, hear me. No, along with Bharti ma'am, I've also completed the Bosch training, IST, which was sponsored by ISTD. Just want to say.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Too many achievers. I'm glad when I'm stepping down, there's so many achievements of our members. Any more, Geeta?
Vidya also underwent that post training. Maybe she didn't mention it, but Vidya was also one of the participants.
Okay, Dr. CK is all here. Doctor, something from your side? I know
you have all already congratulated me. I've been approved a coach for Sulya Toastmasters Club. You've already congratulated me on that. I think what you're saying now is everyone aware of. I also did a short bite, as they say, BYTE, for the for the Rotary Conference when I had to talk about Rotary Toastmasters partnership.
Thank you. Congratulations, Doctor, on that.
Thank you. Thank
you. Anybody? Friends, come on, quick. Are we done? Is anybody else?
I think we are done, Lyra.
Okay. All right. Now, as a membership drive, I have received some letters from the TMI, one for the 10+, one for the 5+. I am not sure when those pins are going to come. When they come, I will display them one day for sure. Okay. Now, since we are done with all the achievements, it's time up to hand over the reins to control to our Toastmaster of the day, Claudette Norona, a lady who is very precise, concise, poised, and elegant and crisp. A tough nut to crack though. I'm sorry, Lolly, but take it in the lighter note. So over to the Toastmaster of the day, who is all enthusiastic to dive into the enthusiasm. The stage is all yours. Take control, Toastmaster of the day, Claudette Norona. Over to you.
Thank you, President Lyra. Yes, this tough nut this is a tough nut to crack. And I'll tell you the reason Lira said that. Good evening, Toastmasters at Port Town. She wanted the theme to be adieu. When I said, we're not saying goodbye to you, we're not getting rid of you, nor are you getting rid of us. So let's have something more upbeat and positive. So Lira and I kind of differed in our opinions a little bit, but that's okay. Now we agree to disagree. Toastmasters, the reason we also chose dive into your enthusiasm is because the team that we've had this year with President Lira at the head has been so enthusiastic. In fact, I think to date, I have not seen a president who's been on WhatsApp 24/7, a person who has responded to every statement, every question, whether you were asking it to her or not. But that's Lira, and that being president or not president is not going to change. But this same enthusiasm is also what brought in so many members, brought in so many awards into the Port Town Toastmasters Club. I want to tell you about this man who was a doorman in a fancy hotel. And every time a guest arrived at the hotel, he opened the door with a flourish and smiled and said, "Good morning, sir," and made him enter to the hotel. So one day, this guy who is a regular guest to the hotel stops at the door and he says to the doorman, "My dear man, you know, you do this day in and day out, day after day. All you do is you open the door, you smile, and you wish the person. Don't you ever get fed up?" And the doorman says, "No, I love it. It's my job. And because it's my job, I love it so much. And I'm so enthusiastic about it." And I think there's a great little lesson from that, which tells us, like, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing it, do it with enthusiasm. Before I go on any further, I would also like to say that whatever we need in life to be really happy is just something to be enthusiastic about. You do not need to have comfort or luxury. And I speak for all of us when I say that we as a club have been very cohesive. We have been very united. Our president has been very encouraging and enthusiastic from day one. And even now, as she steps down, I can still see that enthusiasm in her. And she steps down from being president, but she's still going to be part of the club, the immediate past president, and an encouraging and responding person constantly in the club. Now, before I go on to the very enthusiastic speakers, I would also like to talk about the other members in the club who were very supportive of her. We had the VPPR, the secretary, and all the others who, as a team, supported Lira and stood by her. Now, I would like, without any further ado, to get on with the enthusiastic speakers who are waiting to speak and tell us what they have to say. To begin with, we are going to have our newly inducted Toastmaster, Naina Hegde. Toastmaster Naina Hegde is on her very first speech, the icebreaker of the presentation mastery, and she will be evaluated by DTM Veera Katpitia, who will now read the objectives of the speech to us.
Thank you, Lolly. Do we have a grammarian giving the word for the day today, or shall I continue?
No, today we don't have any.
We don't have a grammarian. No.
I thought so, but I saw Dr. C.K. Balal written as grammarian, so I thought we had added it later.
Doctor, rename.
Thank you, Lolly. Naina starts speaking before us today. So the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. The time allotted to her is 4 to 6 minutes. All the very best to you, Naina.
Naina Hegde will speak on the world through my hobbies. The world through my hobbies, Naina Hegde.
Thank you. Heaven is under our feet as well as above our heads. It was one evening in the year 1994 when I thought of visiting a flower show where I felt I stepped into a different world. It was Ikebana, the Japanese flower arrangement. There were large assemblies of foliage, flowers driftwood around me. Though it showed random at first sight, as I realized later, each was rendered a definite meaning and purpose. Good evening, one and all. I'm Nana Bilal Hegde, and today I'll be introducing myself, speaking about little about my life and hobbies, which was a window to my world for me. After getting dazzled with a new art form, I got an opportunity to join into the Sogetsu School of Ikebana, from where I completed all the 6 diploma courses that made me an expert. This was the beginning where I got a chance to enter the Lal Bagh flower shows, where I competed in vegetable carving, bonsai, janur, and Indian floral art. Apart from Ikebana, I won all the high honors in all the field. Of course, then I joined hands with the organizers of Sogetsu School in fundraisers to the downtrodden, which gave me an immense satisfaction. My family's support played a major role in all of this, not to mention my dogs, who thankfully never touched my flower arrangements, rather than take them for their snack. While these were the art forms I followed, this was the beginning of my journey. And after coming back to Mangalore, I woke up to get involved with my yoga classes. During the last year's sessions, as well as lockdown, the virtual sections have given me an opportunity to get a chance to connect with more people at the comfort of my home. Though my dresses and saris would curse me for the first time out, I was really, really fortunate to practice and teach yoga to the enthusiasts. Of course, this led me into everyday routine of yoga practice. I was born into a family of 3 brothers. My father was a businessman and my mother a homemaker. I spent my childhood cycling and playing cricket with my brothers. Being the youngest, I was my father's favorite. And he was proud to have a daughter who, as a teenager, could cook as well as drive a car better than many. I had a wonderful time at St. Agnes, right from primary to the college level, where I blossomed into a complete woman and entered Mr. Hegde's life as a better half. Ours was an arranged marriage, and I knew that he was the right one for me during our first meeting. He said I was right. We had a son in 1988 to whom I become a punching bag, a nanny, teacher, and life coach rolled into one. Our lives were not the same as he was our focus over the ensuing years. I guess all efforts ensuing years, all efforts paid off as today he's in the cusp of finishing his training as a urologist. Back in Mangalore, I got an opportunity to get involved with the St. Agnes Alumni Association. It was deja vu when I met our very own Madam President Lyra Pinto. She inspired me to join the Toastmasters. Of course, I wanted to improve my vocabulary and public speaking. So I readily agreed, and here I am today with her as mentor for my icebreaker speech. I hope to achieve my goal with my fellow Toastmasters support. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present.
Thank you, Toastmaster Naina Hegde. Toastmaster Naina Hegde says things that make her feel enthusiastic are treating every moment of her life as a gift from God and using it to improve her life in many ways. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Hilda Fernandez, and she is enthused by participating and competing in sports activities. These tournaments are a great booster of adrenaline, I'm sure, Hilda, and she is on her level 2, project 1 of motivational strategies, and will be evaluated by DTM Malini Hebar. Will you please read out the objectives?
Yes. Thank you, TMOD Toastmaster Claudette. The purpose statements of this particular project are two. First of all, the speaker must study, learn the different styles of communication. She should also identify her own style of communication, and then she must also see how her style of communication impacts others. Now, to do this, the speaker has 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please note that the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to the Toastmaster for the title of the speech.
Toastmaster Hilda Fernandez, my communication style. My communication style, Toastmaster Hilda Fernandez.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you're audible. Good communication is the bridge between confusion and clarity, says Nat Turner. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Every time we speak, we choose and use one of the 4 basic communication styles: analytical, direct, initiative, and supportive. When I try to find out my style of communication, I recalled an incident that happened to me when I was in grade 3. It was the class monitor's duty to bring that long attendance register immediately after the morning assembly from the staff room to the class, and after the attendance has been taken, to take it back.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I was the class leader that year. I vividly remember the day, and I was barely 8 years. It so happened that day, the teacher forgot to take the attendance, and at the end of the period, I reminded him. It was quite normal, but my teacher was so cross with me. He held my ponytail, which my mother used to tie over here, and slapped me twice. More than the pain, it was so humiliating to get slapped in front of the whole class. Unlike the present day children who would complain to their parents every little thing, and the parents would be ready on 1.5 legs to rush to school and target the teacher, I did not open my mouth. Till date, neither my parents nor my siblings know what happened to me on that awful day. This incident left a deep scar in my heart and mind, which made me nervous to ask questions or to talk to anybody. Years passed. When I was in grade 7, I took part in a speech competition. My uncle wrote the speech for me. I memorized it and won the first prize. From that day onwards, every time there used to be any speech competition in and around the school, my teachers used to write speeches for me. I would learn them by heart, reproduce them, and win prizes. But eventually, this made me inefficient to write my own speeches and to speak spontaneously. History repeats itself. I joined Port Town Toastmasters Club a few months back, and I was the best speaker in my first 3 speeches. Of course, under prepared speeches category. I cannot think of impromptu speeches. And you Toastmasters are the witnesses for this. Even recently, Topic Master DTM Veera asked me, Hilda, will you be a speaker? And I was like, President Lyra came to my rescue saying I was the Zoom master. Now you know my secrets, why I take up roles during Zoom meetings. Coming back to my 3rd standard experience, apart from the pain and fear, I also learned a few lessons to be gentle and kind to others. This has helped me immensely. Being a math and science teacher, I would always encourage my students to ask questions, clarify their doubts, satisfy their curiosity and scientific inquiry. I am calm, approachable, and careful when I speak to my students. Sincere and amiable when I talk to my friends. Gentle and soft-spoken with elders. But I'm not the same when it comes to my own family members. Although I speak with respect to my parents and in-laws, I get angry with my husband and children, and sometimes I do raise my voice. Personally, I listen more and talk less, except while teaching and delivering speeches. By now, you might have realized my style of communication. Any guesses? Yes, it's supportive. It has helped me to have an impact with my listeners, which has led to higher efficiency and good morale in the workplace. It has increased innovative and creative potential among my students and employees as well. Nevertheless, I need to adjust and adapt other styles to fit the situation and persons. For example,
The other day I had gone to a bank and the manager had no time to listen to me. He wanted me to be brief, specific, and to the point. Direct communication is needed at times. Another example is my latest online student, Ria, who is highly intelligent and doesn't need over explanation and repetitions. So now I focus on solutions and provide details when asked for. You see, I can tailor my communication style to match situational expectations. I'm sure gradually I will shed my fears and confusion and speak with clarity and confidence during table topics too. Dear Toastmasters, speak in such a way that others love to listen to you, and listen in such a way that others love to speak to you. Anonymous, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hilda. And Hilda, our enthusiastic Hilda, that was a lovely speech. We will now move on to the third speaker, Vidya DTM Vidya Shenoy, who is on her level 5 completion project, Reflect on Your Path of Strategic Relationships. Her evaluator, Mahesh Naik, will now read out the objectives.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are. Louder, a little louder, Mahesh.
Okay, Toastmasters. Now we have Toastmaster Vidya Shenoy, who will be speaking next. She's on the path Strategic Relationships and level 5, that is completion project, and Reflect Your Path. And the speech title is Here I Am. Here I am, and a time allotted for her is 8 minutes to 12 minutes. So back to you, Toastmaster Lolly.
Thank you, Mahesh. Toastmaster DTM Vidya Shenoy. Here I am. Here I am, DTM Vidya Shenoy.
Vidya, just give me a moment. Since your timing is different, you may direct the timer. Have you directed the timer?
I will, no, because somebody told me it's 8 to 10. Then when I looked at the evaluator's sheet, it said 10 to 12. So the timer can only the timer, who's the timer?
Hello? Just mute
That's
yourself.
me, Lisha. Okay, all right. Toastmaster Lisha, 9 minutes, 10 and 12.
Yes, noted.
9, 10 and 12. All right. Thank you very much. The pathway's curators must be Socratic. The Greek philosopher emphasized on self-enquiry, self-reflection, which is a highly personal cognitive process in which the person filters through his experience to build the new. So here I am, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests, doing exactly that, reflecting on the path. My path was strategic relationships. Level 1, as you all know, begins with an icebreaker. And the second speech is a speech where you deliver, get feedback, and then you re-deliver that speech based on the feedback that you have received. So that speech was titled Footloose and Free. And soon after I delivered that speech, the entire country was under lockdown. I was neither footloose nor was I free, but I had ample time to reflect on the truism that man may propose, but God disposes, in this case, nature. I threw a hissy fit with myself and refused to embrace the online meetings. I found it very impersonal and I just was not ready for it. But I soon discovered that life at Port Town was going on brisk. And my WhatsApp messages, particularly the Port Town group, was inundated by photographs and appreciation and how a particular Toastmaster had delivered a brilliant speech. I had a major attack of FOMO, fear of missing out. And then there was another bolt of bitter truth. I realized that none of the Port Towners were missing me, so I quietly licked my self-inflicted injury and got on to the online meetings. The next speech of mine was the research speech on level 1, and I chose a topic that is very close to my heart, autism, because my sister is inflicted with it. I spoke to Sister Maria Jyoti, the founder of the special school. I listened to TED Talks. I listened to podcasts, and I gleaned whatever I could from credible sources on the internet. And I felt I had drafted a good speech. D-Day arrived, and I delivered the speech. And to my horror, realized that most of the speech was not audible. My internet had let me down. And so the next task was to make sure to upgrade my internet. I got myself a state-of-the-art modem, and when my cousin visited me, he looked at the equipment and asked me if it was providing internet service to the entire neighborhood. Well, I couldn't take any risks because I had decided that I had to continue with my path. Level 2, in understanding leadership style, I kept it very close to home. I've always admired the leaders in Toastmasters. So after having been in Toastmasters for more than 10 years, I had seen various leadership styles. I spoke about these leaders, and I was happy with that speech because it came from my heart. The second speech on level 2 was speaking on cross-cultural understanding. For this, I took a cue from Raymond Williams' Culture is Ordinary. And I spoke about how the everyday, ordinary, actually comprises of our culture, or it is that what makes us who we are. The next speech on the same level was Toastmaster mentoring. A bevy of eminent Toastmasters have mentored me in spite of not being their mentee. I have been very fortunate, and to date, I still seek their counsel, and my entire speech was about these brilliant Toastmasters. I'd moved on to level 3. Level 3 was connections through networking. Today, we live in a day and age where if you're not networking, you're not working. And we see networking happening at Toastmasters all the time. So I decided that once again, I was going to talk about networking in the Toastmasters fraternity. The next speech was an elective. Connect with your audience and speak on a topic which is very unfamiliar. Port Towners, I cannot remember what I spoke about. The topic was so unfamiliar that I cannot recall what it is. If any of you do, speak now or forever be silent. Level 4 was public relations strategy. I thoroughly enjoyed the speech because I decided to craft a speech about an imaginary organization that provides sustainable solutions across the globe. And so I spoke about a public strategy for anybody, for this organization, about an organization that is willing to help out anybody who wants to make some difference regarding the environmental degradation. The next was an elective, manage online meetings. Now, we have all become experts at this. And so I do not need to talk about what I spoke about. Everybody here has become a Zoom master. When I became a Zoom master, and this was after I gave that speech, I forgot to spotlight the speaker. I only spotlighted the timer. And Malini ma'am very kindly and very patiently told me, Vidya, you forgot to spotlight the speakers. So that is what happens sometimes, but we've all learned and we've all progressed. Level 5 was leading your voluntary organization. This took me back to my Rotary years, where I served as a chairperson for the Women and Child Welfare Committee. And I spoke at length about what is the role that I played and what are the lessons that I have learned. The next was an elective, prepare to speak professionally, which I did last week. And I loved the speech because this speech said I could speak on keynote address. Now, Toastmasters, I have a confession to make. I've always fantasized about giving life lessons and imparting knowledge and wisdom to very young people. I've never had the opportunity to have such captive audience, but at Toastmasters, people don't have a choice. They have to listen. And so I delivered a keynote address, which was last week. And I must say that while I drafted that speech, I realized that I did have some pearls of wisdom to impart to my audience. Talk about living vicariously through Toastmasters. This was a classic case of that. And the last speech, which is happening now, is the reflect on your path. At the beginning of the year, dear Port Towners, while I was talking to our Madam President and we were talking about our educational goals, I told her that I am very keen on finishing this path and I am going to dedicate this path to the club. We all know that the year is done as far as taking a stock of all the educational goals have to be done. And I would like to dedicate this path to our president, our Sergeant at Arms. No, that was the Toastmaster of the day has already spoken at length about her ownership of this club. And so this path is dedicated to Madam President. My learning from this particular reflection was that I began by abhorring this online medium. And like everybody has written over and over again, that when you resist anything, it becomes insurmountable. But when you decide that you are going to embrace change, it psychologically propels you. I'm really glad that I decided to continue with the online meetings. Not that anything would have changed for others, but I would have been the loser. And so here I am, dear Toastmasters, with a completion of the path. And Madam Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, it is you who needs to take a bow because this path is dedicated to you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Excuse me, Lovely. Could we all have a standing ovation for this efficient Toastmaster, DTM? Vidya Shenoy, please.
So here I am living vicariously like a politician doing the namaskara. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Please be seated.
Thank you for keeping up to your word, DTM Vidya Shenoy. I'm elated. Thank you. God bless you.
So glad, Madam President.
Yes. DTM Vidya Shenoy, that was a reflective and a comprehensive recap of your path. I would like to tell you what makes DTM Vidya Shenoy feel enthusiastic. She says it's nature, books, food, gardening, a few good people, travel, and new destinations. With that, we move on to our fourth speaker, the last one for the evening. And Frances Pinto, who is our fourth enthusiastic speaker, is going to speak on Dynamic Leadership, Level 2, Project 2, Connect with the Audience. I would like to invite her evaluator, Zaibunisa, to read the objectives. Toastmaster Zaibunisa, to read the objectives.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day. Mrs. TM Prana Pinto is on our Dynamic Leadership, Level 2, Project 2. The purpose of this statement is the member is to practice the skill to connect with the audience. Dear Farana, I wish you all the good luck, and over to the title, to your model.
TM, Toastmaster of the Toastmaster Frana Pinto. People keep perfecting themselves with prayer and practice. People keep perfecting themselves with prayer and practice. Toastmaster Frana Pinto.
Am I audible?
Yes. Thank you.
Did you know of persons in our midst who have perfected themselves with prayer, practice, perseverance, pride, and passion, and achieved their goals far beyond what we expected? There are so many of you among us like this. But today, I would like to give it to someone who has brought special accolades and awards to PTAT like none before her. And she, like the biblical Daniel, thrown into the lion's den of Toastmasters, came out unscathed and smiling and enthusiastic. I'm talking of none other than our president, Lyra Pinto. And today I pay her a special tribute and her team and to all of us fellow Toastmasters who made this possible. This virtual platform has brought us all together and kept us smiling despite that obnoxious Lilliputian viral virus. So here goes. Today we are going with a blessing, with some games, with a dance, and finally to a toast. We begin with the blessing. God is good all the time. He has wrote this song in this heart of mine. God is good all the time. God is good. Through the darkest night, his light will shine. God is good. Yay, God is good all the time. And with that, we move on to the first game. I request Toastmaster Amita, who's been my ally in this, to bring the first game, which is regarding Toastmasters. It is jumble words, which you will have to find out. Faster finger first. Is Trisha there? She has to see who are the winners.
Yes, ma'am, I'm there.
Okay, start.
Ma'am, 10 seconds to answer will be given, right?
Okay, 10 seconds to answer.
And, it's only in the chat box, and everyone should be on mute. Yeah.
Can't see anything. There are two words.
Prana ma'am, yeah, there are two words. Prana ma'am, you have to guide everyone since they have to type the answer in the chat box. There are two words. Ma'am, you're on mute.
We have our first answer by Malini ma'am. Frana ma'am, you just have to tell us if it's correct.
She'll scroll up.
Yeah, I'll scroll. Yeah. Yeah, Trisha.
Next one. I think you give only 5 seconds.
Okay.
No, that is not the answer.
No. Okay, the next is sure. 1 minute, please. Yeah, this is the second one.
The answer came before that.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's see who can type it the fastest. Whoever had a sneak peek at the answer.
Okay.
No, we didn't see.
Okay.
Oh,
okay, we have an answer by Melora Pice, which is beat the clock.
yes,
Shivani
that's right.
says beat the clock. That's right. Okay, that goes to Melora.
Okay, the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone for this answer? Radhika, we have Radhika with Super 7.
Right. That's
Super
right.
7 is right.
Yes.
That goes to Radhika. Yes.
Next one.
Yeah. Yes, Spirit of 121.
21,
I
right,
think it's Spirit 121, but that'll go to Malini ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, we have the fifth one. Any answers? Come on, Portanas.
I know the last word.
Know this. Look at me acting so dumb.
Should I give the answer? I think it's time up, right?
Just 1 minute, just 1 minute. Ma'am, at least post the last word or even one word. If anybody knows at least one word of it, you know, you can.
What's the answer?
Radhika says, welcome back.
It is Welcome Back Champion Award? No, Welcome Back Award.
I have put the last word crown.
Okay,
Oh,
welcome
it
back.
went to direct message to Hilda. I had put crown, but I don't know why it went to Hilda. Sorry.
Oh,
okay. Okay. Over to Frana, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we go on with the next game?
Yes, go on with the next
One
game.
minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sorry. Go on, because I don't know how it went to. Yes. Please go on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Just 1 minute. I'm just opening the chat box, Amita. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Go.
This is a trivia. This is a trivia fun. What do we say? General knowledge quiz.
Not a
Quiz
duel.
time. Yeah.
Duel is two people.
Okay.
Chat box. I'll go the answer. The timer's showing.
What is the duel between three people called? Yes, we have the first answer. Bharati ma'am and Malini ma'am have answered, but Malini ma'am has answered first. All right, we can move on to the second one. Which Tasmanian marsupial is known for temper?
Tasmanian devil. I can't type that.
Oh, sorry, I can't see some of the screen.
It has to be in the chat box.
Yeah, Malini has answered.
Okay,
kangaroo.
we have the first answer. Is anyone else willing? Does anyone else know the answer? We have an answer from Malini Hebbard that is kangaroo.
Okay, I'll give out the answer. That's not the right answer. The answer is.
I'll give it. I can write the answer.
No, wait. Yeah, I think we can make an exception
Because we're giving only 5 seconds. 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah.
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, because already read.
Yeah, it's the Tasmanian devil.
That was
next
Lolly
one.
ma'am, right? That was Lolly ma'am. Yeah.
It's already put
Okay.
on the.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the third one. A trailblazing Toastmaster rose to become the Toastmaster International first female international president in 1985. What was her motto?
Shall I?
Seconds. Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Amita.
Commit to excellence. Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. All right, let's move on to the next one. Who invented the word vomit? Oh. This is a word that I dislike very, very much. And I would like to know who invented the word.
And why it was invented.
It's okay.
Lolly?
Oh, all the.
We'll give it to Lolly.
Yeah. Has anyone answered, Trisha?
No, not yet. Maybe two,
Okay,
three more
I'll give
seconds.
out.
A
Can I
doctor.
give out the answer?
A doctor. Okay, you can give out the answer.
William Shakespeare. Oh my
William
God.
None other than
Shakespeare.
William Shakespeare.
Oh no! All my hopes and dreams are shattered. Okay.
Next one.
Okay. What can be broke but never be held?
What can be?
Broke but never be held.
Broken but never be held.
Preetham coming in strong with the word trust. So is Jan.
Jan has given us.
Okay, I'll give the answer.
The heart.
A promise. Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, next one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The next one is what is measured in Mickeys?
Very easy. Come on, come on.
Anyone?
Come on, time's running out.
Melora says no. Dr. CK Ballal says tricks. Melora says speed.
Someone said mouse. Who said mouse?
I said mouse.
Preetham Kamath said mice.
I said mouse.
The speed of a computer mouse. That's right, Lyra. Sorry, yeah, Lyra said that.
No, ma'am. It's supposed to be typed into the chat box.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I said
Whoever,
it anyway.
nobody typed
Yeah.
it, but yeah.
But no, Preetham has typed it.
She's typed the right answer. Okay. Then it goes to Preetham.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah. Okay. What's illegal?
What's illegal to do when wearing a swimsuit in a public place in Florida?
No one?
Preetham Kamath has said pee. Malini Hebbal has said swim. Frenel has said to take it off. I like the answers for this one.
The answers.
Okay,
the answer
before
is
it gets worse. Oh, sing. Melora gets it. It is sing.
oh, Melora. Good one.
Great.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, the next one. How long is New Zealand's 99-mile bridge? 90-mile bridge.
Beach.
Stupid.
Oh. How long is the New Zealand 90-mile beach? Yeah. Anyone? Trisha?
I have an answer. 100, 90, 85, 99. Okay, what's the answer?
55 miles.
55. That goes to Hilda. Okay. Ratio and Toastmasters to female versus male. I can't see that word.
I can't see it.
In percentage. What is the ratio
percentage.
of Toastmasters
Oh,
today?
what is the ratio of female versus male?
Malini is right.
Okay.
Dr. CK is enjoying the quiz. He's laughing.
Yeah.
52 to 48. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Who gave that?
Yes, that's
Malini.
our very own Malini Hebbal.
Oh, Mali ma'am. Okay, I think this is the last one. Last one.
Okay. Boulder for the early rise Toastmasters.
What boulder for the
The award, I believe.
Okay, shall I?
Wait, Amita.
This medley award? With the club?
Because we have crossed the time.
Is okay, all right. What's the answer?
Charge your day.
Start your day with
Oh, that wouldn't have striked us at all.
Wow.
Charge right now.
Okay.
All right. Brilliant.
Thank you for that game. How much time do I have left?
Yeah, nice game.
Prana ma'am, time's over actually.
How much time?
Over. Time up. It's time up actually.
It's time up.
Oh, it's time up?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
one minute.
Prana ma'am has, I think we can give her she has planned
Let's
something.
say cheers to everyone at the Toastmasters. We were supposed to do the birdie dance, but we've run out of time. So cheers to everyone, to Lyra and her team, to all Toastmasters. For those of you who have made your poster, I love Toastmasters, and cheers to Lyra, her team, and the incoming team. Cheers and God bless each and every one of us.
I think we can ask for a photograph now. Radhika or Geeta,
Yes,
could you take a photograph now?
Could I ask Brian, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear incoming and outgoing together saying cheers to each other. Can you see us?
Yes, yes. Looking upside down, right? What happens here? I don't know.
I with my Meraki mug.
Oh, show your glasses, please.
I have my
straw.
My
All
homemade
glasses,
wine. My homemade wine.
Who is clicking?
Yeah.
Who is clicking?
Who is clicking? Everybody's cheers.
Radhika puts her glass down.
Radhika, I don't have my laptop. They're just clicking their fingers.
Where is your glass, Geeta? Doctor, what is that juice? Where is the wine?
It is.
Jeera water, ma'am.
Orange, you know. Tangerine.
Champagne.
Lyra, what's in your glass, Lyra?
What a shame, Lyra. This is brewed from orange, you know.
What's in your glass, Lyra?
Mojito.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I forgot.
Okay. Wine made by you?
Yes, homemade. I'm a brewer.
Clicking the photo, Radhika.
Hey, what Veera? Where is your glass, Veera?
Radhika is done, I think. Radhika is done.
Radhika done.
Okay.
Okay.
Cheers,
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Radhika. Actually, we were to do the birdie dance for this. We'll do it at the end.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end.
Didn't come in time for the speech, but we'll do it at the end.
Thank you, Toastmaster Franna Pinto.
Yeah, one big round of applause.
Toastmaster Franna Pinto says that she feels enthusiastic about enthusing her teachers in the school about a project. And so she acts enthusiastic so that it rubs off on them and the task gets done efficiently and quickly. With that, we will not be having the regular format of a Toastmaster, per-turn Toastmaster meeting, and we will get on to the evaluations straight away. It was Gordon Parks who said, enthusiasm is the electricity of life. How do you get it? You act enthusiastic till you make a habit out of it. Yes, Portanas, you fake it till you make it. With that, let's move on to the evaluators. Our first evaluator is DTM Veera Katpitia, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Naina Hegde. Toastmaster Naina.
Thank you so much, Lolly. Good evening, Port Towners, and especially Naina, our debutante speaker today. The world through my hobbies. We were absolutely intrigued by this title. We have had people introducing themselves through a lot of things, but this is the first time somebody has introduced herself through her hobbies. It was, in just 6 minutes, you covered such a lot of your life. You told us about your hobbies, what you excel at, Ikebana, bonsai, yoga. You talked about your childhood, you talked about your husband and your son. You really did cover a lot of ground in these 6 minutes. You even had a dash of humor when you said the saris would curse me because they were in the cupboard. And you said, my son, I'm his punching bag. And of course, he's a life coach. You ended also on a beautiful note, philosophical note, I should say. When you said, happiness is not what you postpone. So, all in all, a very beautifully crafted, it is your first speech. So I believe you were a little nervous, but it didn't really show so much. You stood and spoke, which itself is a big thing because, you usually are comfortable sitting, but you are prepared to show your whole self on the camera for us. Maybe next time you're a debutant speaker, first speech. So when we remember all our, when I remember my first speech, you did exceedingly well. You were very confident and all that. But next time onwards, you could start hands when you were speaking. Not you have a speech outside, please try to address the camera. From that, it was a beautiful speech. The purpose of it was for us to get to know you better. Did we get to know you? Yes, Naina. This is the first time I'm seeing you also on camera. Every time you have attended a meeting, I've not really seen you. It was such a pleasure to evaluate you. Your first step in the Port Town Advanced Toastmasters. Welcome to you, Naina, and all the very best for your journey ahead. Over to you, Lolly.
Thank you, DTM Veera Katpetia. It was Samuel
Lolly?
Ullman. Yes.
Lolly, just a minute. I don't know.
Okay.
From me, the host rights have been removed. I don't know how it has happened. So I'm not able to mute people when there is noise. So I am not a host. I am not a co-host right now. Amita, you are the host, and Lisha, you are the co-host. So whenever there is noise, please mute, because I am not the host or the co-host now. Okay. Yeah. Somehow it has been removed from me.
Malini could be made the host. Somebody could make Malini the host, please.
The recording has also stopped.
No.
I'll make Malini ma'am the host. One moment.
Yes.
She will
Make host. Yeah, I did that.
Did
you want? Yeah, I did that,
Lisha,
ma'am.
did you show the flags for the speech? I didn't see them.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
That was because the screen was being shared.
If I could interrupt, could we all vote for the best speaker, please? The link has been sent to the group.
Ma'am, I made you the host now, Malini ma'am. Yeah, no.
Please vote for the best speaker and the timer for the speakers. That's something I forgot to ask for. The timer, please tell us if all the speakers have qualified.
Yes, time taken by Toastmaster Naina Hegde is 6 minutes 30 seconds. Time taken by Toastmaster Hilda is 7 minutes. Time taken by DTM Vidya Shanoy is 10 minutes 30 seconds. And time taken by Toastmaster Frana is 14 minutes. So Toastmaster Naina Hegde, Toastmaster Hilda, and DTM Vidya Shanoy have been in their time, and they have been qualified.
Okay, thank you, timer. Thank you for that. Let's move on to the evaluations. I'm sorry, I lapsed on asking for the voting slips and the voting link and for the timer's report. It was Samuel Ullman who said, "The years may wrinkle your skin, but to give up your enthusiasm is going to wrinkle your soul." With that, let's move on to the second evaluator of the day, who is going to evaluate Toastmaster Hilda Fernandez, and that is DTM Malini Ebar. Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Hilda, you spoke about 4 styles of communication. So I would like to begin by saying that you had 4 strengths. First of all, you in fact exemplified everything that is covered under purpose statements. You covered all that is covered under purpose statements. Your speeches are always content rich. You always succeed at touching a chord in our heart. And this time it was perfectly timed as well. Now I will go back only to my first point. That is how you kept to all the 3 purpose statements of your speech. First of all, you are supposed to learn from the communication styles of others. Now, while speaking about the communication styles of others, you made it very clear as to what not to do if you want to be a good communicator. And that's a great learning for all of us. What not to do is a greater learning than what to do. You're also supposed to talk about your own communication style. You have to identify your own communication style. I have heard other Toastmasters take this project up
but never have I come across any speaker specifically talking about her communication style as distinctly as you did. You spoke about your own communication style being supportive. Now, you also had to talk about the impact of your communication style on others. And with anecdotal references, you spoke about your relationship with your students and how you used your supportive communicative style with your students. So, Hilda, I must congratulate you on this, that you succeeded at keeping to the purpose statements beautifully. And as I've already told you, content rich, touches a chord in our heart, and also perfectly timed. Now, when it comes to suggestions for improvement, I know that you're already sitting very eagerly to listen to me and to get many suggestions from me, because that is your unassuming nature. But I don't have so many suggestions to give at all. Only two suggestions, probably, main suggestions. One is that the title of a speech is very important. So probably you could have thought of a more imaginative title than just saying my communication style. Secondly, you started with a quote. We do say that starting with the quote is impressive, but I felt that your anecdote was far better and richer in content. So probably you could have started with that anecdote and come down to communication styles. Hilda, knowing you, I know that you are the very embodiment of humility, but I must tell you that you have already reached the level of perfection. So now start building up your confidence and start taking even table topics. I'm sure you will do complete justice to it. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Malini Hebar. And it was Bo Bennett who said, enthusiasm is excitement with inspiration, motivation, and a pinch of creativity. With that, we move on to the third evaluator of this evening. It is our very own Mahesh, TM Toastmaster Mahesh Naik, who will read out, who will be evaluating DTM Vidya Shenoy.
Hello, Toastmasters. It's my pleasure to evaluate Vidya. And Vidya, here is to you, your evaluation. Having known that you're a very good speaker, I was much looking forward to listening to your speech, and you have not disappointed me. You are on level 5, and your topic was Here I Am. It's a completion project. You spoke very deliberately, you spoke very fluently, and also with great clarity. And that was something that impressed me a lot. You also displayed a very great strength of yours, and that is language. You are able to speak fluently and with the right words and the right expressions. I think that is one of your best strengths. It makes us listen to you just for the pleasure of listening to your language. There was also the fact that you recapitulated your entire journey of this Toastmasters last 5 speeches very well by giving the different stages of your speech. And we could very well, because you gave the titles and some kind of content about what you spoke, and since we have already listened to your speeches earlier, we could imagine your growth through this journey. You had very good content and depth, and also experience and learnings, a good mix of psychology, philosophy, and all that. So you've done full justice to your speech plan and your purpose. That is your completion project. You have recapitulated it and packaged it very well and presented it to us as your learning experience. So these are the very good points that I saw in your speech. In conclusion, I have 1 or 2 suggestions for you. These are not actually really serious suggestions, but since you're a DTM, you deserve to be told how we can further improve. One was that your ending, it was Edmund Hillary who said that climbing Mount Everest, it's not just the climbing, but also coming back safely. The whole journey is completed by not only reaching the peak, but also coming back. So in your ending, you spoke very well about your 5 speeches journey, but towards the end, you hesitated a little. So I think that crescendo got broken up. Maybe you should have planned the ending a little better so that the climax, wherever it is positioned, is not distorted in any way. I think that is a little bit of attention was required at the preparation stage. And lastly, the most important is that you presented your 5 speeches in a linear fashion, that is speech 1, speech 2, speech 3. You went on telling it in that way. So for a beginner, it might be the best method to do. But in your case, since you're an experienced speaker, it became a little predictable and it would run the risk of causing listener fatigue. So we will already know what is coming. So to break that, maybe you could have experimented with a slightly changed format so that we keep wanting to listen more and see what's going to come. So that linear approach could have been avoided, or at least toned down in some way, at least by avoiding the numbers or whatever, which made us think of, the one when you say we already imagine 4 or 5. So that predictability could have been broken down. But otherwise, a very excellent speech. I loved listening to it. It got me fully engaged because of your strength of language, your deliberate and fluent speech, and also the fact that we could imagine your growth and follow you throughout. So excellent, and congratulations again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahesh Naik. Good learners, always remember, take your vitamins. Vitamin A for action, vitamin B for belief, vitamin C for confidence, vitamin D for discipline, and the most rejuvenating of them all, vitamin E for enthusiasm. Before we move on to the next section of our meeting, I would like to share something with you. There was this man who was a worker at a factory, and at lunchtime, he pulled out his lunchbox and looked at his lunch and sighed, "Oh, cheese sandwiches again." He did this the next day, he did it the third day, and he did it the fourth day. Finally, a co-worker who was having lunch with him looked at him and said, "Why don't you just ask your wife to make you some other sandwiches?" And this man looked very doleful and replied, "I am not married. I made those sandwiches myself." So don't make the mistake of not doing something that you can change and you have the power to change, and always do it with enthusiasm. With that, I would like to request Toast DTM Urmila Shetty, who has been requested by our president, Lyra Pinto, to say a few words. So I would like her to talk, and her choice of speech is "Small talk is big." DTM Urmila Shetty, "Small talk is big."
Good evening, fellow Porthunners and guests. President Lyra has kept a special slot for me this evening, and she said, "Urmila, I want you to do something educational." I could just imagine the mental groans coming from our listeners, so I deleted educational. How did I come upon my topic? It was dwelling on Lyra herself. I thought about Lyra, and this subject came as a result. She has a quality that makes her the dynamo that drove the engine of PTAT all through this year. So what is that quality? Tell you later. Over the past year and a half, we've had networking events. Everybody talks about them. And we even land on yoga mats by the end of it. We are looking basically at webinars and stuff, which are big talks about big ideas. However, it is the little hellos, the pat on the back. Can you hear me? The pat on the back that makes you feel warm inside, or the approving feedback that you get when you meet in person, that we miss. Lyra has this quality above all, that she monitors, as Lolly said, 24/7. She monitors the communication channel of PTAT. So this is my subject. What if we were only to do things that are serious, only deal with big ideas and big topics, functional language? A PTAT meeting will be held on 23rd June. It is the last meeting of the presidential term of the year. If there is no poster inviting us and we don't comment on WhatsApp about how nice it is, how funny it is, and so on, it will be just that. In fact, some time ago when our official website got clogged with messages, they decided to cancel these message type things and only keep to informative and official messages. So what did this indicate? It indicated that small talk was relegated. And this small talk is the quality that Lyra specializes in. It indicated that small talk was relegated because it was unimportant. It's mostly greetings and salutations. Big talk and small talk are separate things. Small talk doesn't need to be taught. So I'm saying today that having watched Lyra, I would say that she has an infinite capacity for small talk, and it is very, very important. It's more than greetings and salutations. Big talk and small talk are separate things. One can lead to the other. And I think small talk should be, if not taught, at least learned. And therefore, while giving this as a gift to Lyra, I would also say that it vibes with the theme of the day, which is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, as you know, comes from the Greek word to be inspired or possessed by God. I cannot imagine that anybody could do what she did without being actually inspired by God. So this is for Lyra. What is small talk? Now, it was the anthropologist Malinowski who coined the word phatic communication, P-H-A-T-I-C, phatic communication, which meant in his own words, a type of speech in which ties of union are created by a mere exchange of words. Small talk that establishes and reaffirms relations between us to create a sociable atmosphere. This is the atmosphere. When I say, "How are you, Lolly?" I don't expect a chapter and verse account of her well-being or otherwise. In phatic communication, I'm just letting her know I care. So phatic communication can be a non-verb, a wave of the hand, a handshake, which has been denied to Indian women mostly, or a smile, if I can manage that. Or it can be verbal. Take a receptionist answering the phone. "Hello, this is Care Hospital. How may I help you?" Then comes the talk on the COVID vax. Then she ends it saying, "Thank you for calling. Have a good day." At a family wedding, a cousin's wife, new to me, stumped my efforts to get to know her by saying, "I don't believe in small talk. I wish I had known what I know now, and then I would have been able to stump her instead." How then is small talk important? For one thing, it's informal, not functional. It's conversation for its own sake. And it's social communication coming out of one's social skills. So the many things that phatic communication can do is this. It can initiate a response by breaking maybe an intimidating silence, by saying, looking at the view and saying, "Great view, isn't it?" Isn't it allow the other person to say something? It helps you start a conversation. How are you doing? Is popular now. What's up? Things like that. Exchange gossip, supportive or negative. She is the limit, honestly, she is the limit. Give comfort in times of sorrow. We all do that. Expresses empathy, friendship, respect, politeness, all these things. But basically, it is to keep the talk going, just as the Yakshagana Bhagavatar does, listening to the problems of the characters and exclaiming loudly that he's actually listening. And it's like the Danish people say, what then? In Tulu, we say bokka if you want the person to continue talking. So those are the kind of small talk that we engage in constantly. Labor, a critical labor, has three recognizable patterns of small talk. One is neutral talk, when the subject is not personal to either talker or listener. Then there is self-oriented talk, where the subject is personal to the listener. For instance, you can you can say, my legs were not meant for these stairs. Or it could be other-oriented talk, okay? When the subject is personal to the listener. Do you come here often? I would ask. Of course, it must take care of the differential between speakers, because it happened like this. My husband, as chairman of the trust group of colleges, happened to walk into an official program, and a very young lecturer came up to him and said, so what news? My husband just patted him on the back and continued without answering. But that demonstrated that you really had to know who you were speaking to and how you should speak. Should it be neutral? Should it be self-oriented or other-oriented? Small talk is now part of online communication, and the emoji has taken over from the emoticons. So it guides interpretation of your meaning, a thanks, a clapping of hands, a namaste, a high five, all of this you get. Then Lyra greets with flowers, for instance, a repetition of an emoji or a drawing out of the word, ooh, wow, thanks, so that you get the effect of emotion that goes with your message. Or the phone itself has things like likes, share, reblog, comments, and all this invites small talk. Toastmasters opens up plenty of opportunities to learn, but it is not like learning driving or reading or anything like that. You cannot just pick it up. But the talk show hosts give a very good, like Oprah Winfrey, give you a very good idea of how it works. And you can learn from them, you can practice yourselves. So when we say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, to Lyra and team of 2021, I can say that small talk is big. Yes, small talk is big. And thank you is the biggest small talk we have. It is emphatic communication that carries emotional baggage like love, regard, respect. And that is what we have for Lyra and her team, who have won notable awards this year, but also arranged that picnic on Geeta's and your plantation, Lyra, if I may address you, which was the highlight of emphatic communication. Thank you, emphatic communication, but well meant. And God bless you, President Lyra and team of 2021.
Thank you. DTM Urmila, I'm overwhelmed. Yeah.
Thank you, DTM Urmila. And I need to apologize for having slipped up and not included the last evaluator, Toastmaster Zaibunisa, to evaluate Toastmaster Frana Pinto. So please may I have Toastmaster Zaibunisa evaluating Toastmaster Frana Pinto.
Yes, it's all right.
Apologies for the slip up.
It happens sometimes. Yes, because
like
we have learned, we have so many things to learn in our life.
True.
And congratulations, Farhana ma'am. It was the dynamic section of this evening. It gave all enjoyment after the all hard work day of today. I really enjoyed this session because it remembered me of my school days. Every weekend, we used to have a quiz session, and the game which we played today, Jumble Words, was really my favorite game. Today, through this session, I got to learn so many things. All these were related to the Toastmasters journey. And you started with a very sweet song. It was a blessings. As Farhana ma'am, as I know you from so many years, but it was a coincidence that we are together here in Toastmasters. And I'm proud to say to Toastmasters that my daughters studied in her institution at Joseph Joyland. Today, the sessions, the games, the puzzles brightened the air throughout this evening. The sweet sound added to the sweetness of the presentation. You addressed, I was very happy that you addressed a passing president, Lyra ma'am, and her team as the Lion's Den. Obviously, yes. And they did not allow us to keep quiet because I had to complete my level first. And it was my challenge to finish it off within her time of office. And Rana ma'am, it was really a very fine session. All of us, we participated and you kept us connected throughout the session. You involved the Toastmasters and it was a wonderful interactive session. And what suggestions can I give this lovely lady with always a smiling face throughout? Just to await for more of these sessions, whole and soul by yourself, my dearest madam. We love you. I love you so much. Over to the TMOD of the day.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmasters Aibonisa. That was a very affectionate and touching evaluation. And now we will go on to the rest of the meeting, which is going to be the innovative spot, and that has been creatively put together by some of the Port Towners. So the rest of us are going to sit back and relax and watch them.
Lolly,
over to Trisha.
Lolly,
Ladies and
could you
gentlemen.
ask for the time of the evaluators and ask them?
Yes, yes. And we may maybe have the timers report and the voting links, please.
Time taken by DTM Veera is 2 minutes 55 seconds. Time taken by DTM Malini is 3 minutes 14 seconds. Time taken by Toastmaster Mahesh is 3 minutes. Time taken by Toastmaster Zaibunisa is 3 minutes. All are qualified.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lisha. Please vote for the best evaluator. With that, I would like to hand over the meeting to Trisha, Toastmaster Trisha Lara D'Souza.
Thank you so much, TMOD, Claudette Norona. I am very, very, very excited for this segment. All right. Life is like a prism. What you see depends on how you turn the glass. Through the prism of PTAT, Each one of us comes out the other side with colors that add to our own personality, growth, and creativity. In the spectrum of PTAT, a collective effort by all the members leads to big results. As we know, this is the last meeting of PTAT of the board of 2020-21 under the leadership of Toastmaster Lyra Pinto. And we have a small little surprise for our outgoing board. To honor their tireless efforts, Malini ma'am and I had a small little chat about the true purpose of this innovative spot. Today's innovative spot will feature our members, each one who will address each board member and share with us beautiful moments and perhaps an anecdote about our members. I am very excited about this segment, and I hope for it to be a cherished surprise to our board.
Trisha, could you request
Yes,
all who are involved to switch on their video so that I can spotlight them? All those who are
involved. Everyone who is involved, who has to be speaking now, I don't want to reveal the names, but you know who you are. So could you please turn on your cameras for this segment? While that happens, I will just begin screen share. So if all of you could please turn on your cameras.
Isha, I think Auntie Lyra only is dropped off. So can you wait? Ah, she's there. Okay.
All right. Malini ma'am, should I start?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Once again, I request the board and all those who are involved to switch on your camera, please, so that I can spotlight you. The board involves, as you know, IPP, Sergeant at Arms, Treasurer, Secretary, 3 Vice Presidents, and President. Please switch on your camera.
Board members, this is for you.
Should we switch off?
No, 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 no.
No, 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 ma'am. No, ma'am. No. All right. I will go ahead with the screen sharing. There we have it. Our first member, our board member, DTM Preetam Kamath, the gorgeous and the ever so cheerful, who will be addressed by Distinguished Toastmaster Vidya Shenoy, our most inspiring. She says, Preetam Kamath says, it was a year where I saw phenomenal growth in PTAT, and I'm happy to have been part of the board. Oops, sorry for that error. All right. And she will be introduced by Distinguished Toastmaster Vidya Shenoy.
Thank you, Trisha. Trisha sent me a message and said, you will have to talk about DTM Preetam Kamath. The color that she signifies is red. Now, Trisha D'Souza, you couldn't have chosen a better color. Red is a primary color, and Toastmaster DTM Preetam Kamath signifies that color. If I were to pick the first letter R, she's a realist. That probably comes from being a lawyer and a counselor, but she's a realist optimist. She's very positive and very encouraging. And according to me, what she primarily is eclectic. If you look at her friends, she has friends from diverse age groups, diverse backgrounds, and her interests are very, very diverse. You can ask her what books, what TV series you need to read, you need to watch, and Preetam Kamath will amaze you with the kind of variety that she will offer you. And finally, D, dynamism. I think this year has actually seen her in her element. She has taken on so many different various positions. She is the secretary of the ISTD, which is a full-time job, and she's much sought after for her online sessions, whether she's doing it for the community or she's doing it on a personal level. She is, when she's not doing this during the day, she devours books and TV series by the night. So have a look at her. Preetham, Trisha, if you could just stop slide share and focus on Preetham. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a look at Preetham. Please spotlight Preetham. Preetham to me signifies, is the epitome of energy, power, confidence, warmth, sexuality, and for those who know her, a deep core of spirituality as well. Trisha, hats off for choosing the color red. She symbolizes red, and red is life-giving energy. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Trisha, once again, I intervene to say that again, I have been displaced. I'm no longer the host. So I'm not able to spotlight anybody. I don't know why this is happening. Savita Salian, you are the host now. Could you please give me back my host rights? I don't know why this is happening. I have not been able
Can I not be spotlighted anymore, ma'am?
No, you need to be spotlighted, Preetham.
Okay, I will say all those last few nice things. Please spotlight her. I will repeat it.
She's already in the speaker view, but I'm not able to spotlight you, Vidya. My intention was to spotlight.
That's okay, ma'am. I'm the voice. I'm not important. She's important.
No, you are as important, Vidya ma'am. That is why I asked you.
Yeah, Trisha, 1 second. Are you made the host, Malini, now?
Savita is struggling to make me the host.
I
am
not the host. I'm not the host. No,
it is showing that you are the host. It shows.
Savita, you are the host. You are the host. Please go to my name.
Trisha particularly said she wants me to talk about one anecdote. This is something which is very standard. Whenever Preetham is a very keen social observer, and whenever she sees a slightly inappropriate behavior, the first thing she'll tell me is, Vidya, if you ever behave like this, I will slap you. And I always tell her, you must, because I don't know what happens as we get older. So yes, so we have this pact.
Yes, I'm the host now. Trisha, you may continue.
Yes, ma'am.
And Trisha, once you show the slide, if you could...
I'll stop screen share. Yes, I paused the screen share, but I realized that it doesn't go off the screen at the time. So,
yes, thank you.
Yes.
Trisha, please talk about the rainbow colors. Otherwise, people will not know why I'm saying red and, I think you forgot to mention.
Yes. All right. I think I missed that out. Okay, in all of my excitement, I forgot to tell all of you that we have chosen the rainbow colors for all of our board members here today, starting with Preetham, who represents the color red. Okay, so now we will move forward and you will know the color they represent by the background of the slide itself. So let's move on to the next one. All right, coming up, the most humorous and to me, the pun king of our Port Town Advanced Toastmasters, who says the excitement of opening a Toastmasters meeting is akin to the excitement of nuptial day. The icing on the cake is you get to lay down the rules of engagement. DTM Brian Fernandez, our Sergeant at Arms, who will be addressed by our beauty with brains, distinguished Toastmaster Bharati Shevgur.
Do I begin, Trisha?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Brian has not switched on his video, so I can't spotlight him.
He's
I
not
think
at all.
he
He's
said
got
he
very
had
bad.
internet issues.
Yes, he's written to me as well.
Yeah, internet is very bad actually.
I told him, come back, you're
The
needed.
internet is very bad.
He's back. He's
It's
here.
okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're here, as long as you're listening.
We can now see you, Brian.
Yeah.
You're on video, right? Your camera is on now.
Yeah.
Because I refuse
Yeah,
to speak
I'm on the phone
unless you are there.
Doesn't matter. Phone or
It matters to me. It matters to me because I am the speaker. I will be speaking about Brian, and Brian has to be there. Brian, are you there? At least on audio. Again, he has gone off, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, technology, I'm here.
Audio, you're there, right? Please
He's
say
next
yes.
to you, Bharati,
Yeah, yeah.
on the screen. So please continue. He's next to you.
Yeah,
Yes,
on the screen.
that's what I wanted. And I can pin you, Brian. Almost. Okay. So, dear Toastmasters, it is Orange and Brian for me. In a rainbow, orange represents creativity and the ability to enjoy oneself, I believe. That's interesting, right? But that's just one line of thought. Based on the Indian philosophy, the chakra philosophy, the orange represents the energy associated with, listen to this, fertility, sexuality, and creativity. Now, this is not what I am saying. This is what the chakra philosophy is saying. So what I am going to do is, I am going to take what is common in both the philosophies, and that is creativity, and allow Brian to see if he checks the other boxes. Now, he has mentioned nuptials and engagement in the quote that he gave to Trisha. So I'm asking you to guess what will probably be the answer to the other qualities associated with the color orange by the chakra philosophy. Let me start. How do I encapsulate what you stand for, Brian, in 1 minute? I've been given only 1 minute, you know, but still let me start. Writer, poet, thinker, DTM Brian. May I say that you enrich every institution that you belong to. Your presence lends respectability to every gathering that you attend. When you open our meetings, Brian, please smile. When you open our meetings, we are assured of a great start with uplifting thoughts that might be couched in humor. Your busy schedule has not dimmed the twinkle in your eye, nor has it enfeebled the compassionate heart that beats under that bluff exterior, dear Brian. Again, dear Brian, continue to be creative and do continue to enrich our lives too. And if I have to speak about an anecdote about you, let me say that last week you had spoken at Rotary, where Vishnu also listened. He is a member of the club. And the entire evening, I had to listen to what a great speaker Brian is, what a wonderful speaker he is, how happy Vishnu was to listen to you. And to the extent that I told him, maybe now stop listening to what Brian is. I have known him for more years than you, and you are going on about him. I would like to have my dinner now. So he said, okay. And immediately started saying, but Brian is a wonderful speaker. It is like Mark Antony saying, but somebody is something, you know what it is. I am not going to say what it is. So Brian, it was my pleasure and unique privilege to speak about you. I thank Trisha for choosing you as the speaker about whom to speak. Over to you, Trisha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. All right, let's move on. We have our next, the most poised and beautiful distinguished Toastmaster, Shivani Balaga, who is our treasurer. She says, to a good spender, God is the treasurer. But I can say without a tinge of doubt that this year I didn't get an opportunity to spend, as the treasury is safely preserved in the bank, as the President Lyra and the pandemic safeguarded it very well, even without spending. So I was left with no choice of not being a spendthrift. To address DTM Shivani Baliga, we have the gorgeous and the all-rounder distinguished Toastmaster Malini Hebbar.
Can I spotlight myself?
Just 1 minute, ma'am. I'll do the needful and spotlight. Yeah, there we go.
I don't know what this says. Remove all spotlight video. I should
No,
cancel.
no, ma'am. I have spotlighted you. I have spotlighted you.
Thank you. Let me begin with an anecdote. I was walking out of Bajpayee Airport with Shivani, and there happened to be Giselle Mehta, who is a household name in Mangalore, so everyone would know who Giselle Mehta is. She looked at the two of us and she asked me, "Is she your daughter?" Well, I should have got angry because although I'm old, I'm not old enough to be Shivani's daughter. But I was thrilled because Shivani, first of all, looks not more than 20, and she has ethereal beauty. So even if she were to be confused for my daughter, it didn't really matter. But more than the ethereal beauty of Shivani, I must bring into this framework of my references to Shivani her qualities, and yellow is the color that is given to her. So it reminds me of Wordsworth's poem to Daffodils, where he says, Shivani, the waves beside them danced, but they, that is the daffodils, outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. Well, whenever I am in your company, you outdo me in every way. But then you are such a pleasure to behold, and you are such a pleasurable company to be with. Unlike Wordsworth, when I'm with you, I know what joy your company brings to me. To you, Shivani, I say, continue to be as charming, not only in your looks, but also in your nature, in your characteristics, always helpful, never a strong, abusive, rude word to anyone. Continue to be as sweet, as bright, as noble as you have always been. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to the next one, we have a silent worker behind the scenes, Toastmaster Radhika Adapa, our secretary, who says, as secretary, I got an opportunity to watch and learn from each of our exceptionally talented club members. Thoroughly enjoyed the ride. And she will be addressed by another silent worker behind the scenes, Distinguished Toastmaster Savita Salian.
Thank you, Toastmaster Trisha. A very good evening to you, dear Portaners and guests. It is a pleasure speaking about Radhika. Though it's very difficult to sum up her qualities in a minute. Let me try comparing her to green, a favorite color of my dad. Green represents clarity of thoughts, wisdom, orderliness, and energy. All qualities that Radhika possesses in abundance. More importantly, green, which is the middle color of the rainbow, denotes fertility, growth, balance, health, and wealth. Dear Radhika, the growth trajectory that you have shown in the past 1 year as club secretary has made you almost indispensable to us. Not only with the creative minutes of meeting, but also with regards to taking on roles, mentoring, attending demo meets, and how can we forget the lovely pictures you take and upload? And more so, you are a wonderful human being. Dear Radhika, we, the club members of Port Town Advanced Toastmasters, remain grateful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have coming up next a witty old Oh, it went to the previous one. A witty old bitty Toastmaster Frenel D'Souza, our VPPR, who says, a sincere thanks to all the Port Towners for having me as the VPPR. A prosperous year with lots of learning. I wish all the very best to the upcoming committee, who will be addressed by the charming, distinguished Toastmaster Veera Karpetia.
Thank you, Trisha. Frenil around or?
Frenil is around, but his video is not switched on, so I can't do anything about it.
Ma'am, my video is on.
But then it asked me to ask you to switch it on. So you would have switched it on now, Frenil. Okay.
Progress. He came to our PTAT a year ago, and right from day one, he radiated an aura of charm, peace, and serenity. All the qualities associated with the color blue. He speaks with such gravitas that it belies his young age, and his speeches are both philosophical and deep. In our hyper charged up chatter, especially of us ladies, Frenil, you are the ocean of tranquility. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our VPPR, Toastmaster Frenil D'Souza, who has been an asset to our club. Both the issues of the Port Town Herald were a treasure. Thank you, Frenil, for your contribution to our club. As you asked us to do, we feel refreshed, renewed, revived. And let's repeat it again as you asked us to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's move on to the next person who does not tolerate mistakes. I should know better than anyone. Toastmaster Anvesh Shetty, who says, the role of VP membership is to ensure that there is a steady growth in the number of members in the club. One can do it directly, that is, bringing members through direct interaction with the prospective members, or indirectly, that is, being fortunate enough to be part of a club whose members will bring members as if their life depends on it. I'm fortunate. He will be addressed by our resident and charming doctor, DTM Dr. C.K. Balal.
Thank you, Trisha, for calling me the resident doctor. I've lost the stage, but certainly for PTAT, I'm definitely a resident doctor. Now, I tried to get on to Anvesh and see if he would be coming online, but alas, I have the opportunity of talking about and of someone in his absence, and that gives you a lot of liberties. But I'm not going to take those liberties today. And you just heard about his partner in crime, which is Frenil. So who is his buddy? None other than Anvesh. And you're giving him the color indigo, that rare herbal color which the colonials came to India to look for and found it in Bengal. And they used so much of it and exported so much of it that it's now a rarity. I know women try to, or sometimes men too, try to use indigo as one of the coloring agents and don't get the pure indigo now. So that's as rare as our Anvesh is actually. He's a gem. Alaripu means flowering bud. In Bharatanatyam, it is the first piece that a dancer learns in Bharatanatyam, and is the first piece a Bharatanatyam artist performs during Arangetram. Toastmasters and guests and friends, I'm referring to Anvesh's icebreaker. I remember it very well. It was at the Mangalore Club. And my exclamation then was, this newbie is running before she has learned to walk. And that's exactly what he's shown us he's capable of over the last year or so. Thanks to Preetham, who knew him, and for bringing this two musketeers, and she's the third one, which is Anvesh, Pranil, and our own Preetam Kamath, who brought them in. Research tells me that the name Anvesh is derived from the Sanskrit word Anveshana, which is also in Kannada. It means a quest. And Anvesh is always in a quest to find new things, to find new avenues. And some of you who do not know him that well, in addition to being a chartered accountant, he's a lawyer too, and is now doing a PhD. So that speaks volumes for his quest for knowledge, for his quest for opportunities. He's a VP membership here, but he's the charter president of our first trilingual club in the district, 121, the Karavali Toastmasters Club. I have found out through this year that I'm sure a lot of you do have, that Anvesh is the person to go to if you have, or if you are at a loss on topics to speak about or topics to choose from. He's always there. He surprises you. If you ever have any hiccups with the Zoom app, with the delightful possibilities that one might like to see with the internet, he is the person to have the tap on his shoulder and get him. But like Maria, where do you find him? I'm at a loss to find him today. He's so evasive. But then, would you know that he has got 3 or 4 numbers that one has to ring? And you get the right one eventually. And I found the secret one where he dwells. Now, that is about Anvesh. But then he's a very accommodative person. He's really accommodative. He's a master in Kannada language. And he comes out with this beautiful Kannada whenever he's asked to. But in Anvesh, I've found a very patient, accommodative person, a rare person like that color indigo. And thanks for this opportunity, our friend, for having given me this opportunity to introduce and talk about Anvesh in absentia. But I'm sure all of you, like that small talk that Urmila talked about, fill him in on all that I said about him. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. On to the next, the vastly talented Toastmaster Amita Shetty, our VP Ed. She says, being VP Ed gave me an opportunity to interact with our existing and new members. Thank you, Port Towners and President Lyra Pinto for this opportunity of growth and learning. And she will be addressed by our beautiful Toastmaster Malini Bokku.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I will put some other India card. Okay, send it.
I think we have a little bit of interference.
Oh,
okay, wait, I'll just mute.
Oh, okay, all right.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, yes.
Trisha. Thank you, Trisha.
Yes, yes.
We is virtual, we is violet, and we is VP Amita. Just like the color violet, a mysterious mix of color blue and red, so is Amita to me, as I have met her mostly virtually. However, due to Toastmasters' continuous meetings and programs, I'm stimulated to take the violet moment to speak about Amita Shetty. Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman to travel to space, once said, when God made the color purple, God was just showing off. I would like to modify this a bit and say that God was showing off when he made the color violet. It was God's way of showing us the possibilities at the extremities of the spectrum. VP Amita Shetty is a sparkling mix of stimulation and serenity, sophistication and simplicity, with an unusual charisma and charm. She dances her way straight to our very core, meandering across the entire spectrum of Toastmasters. Just like the other wonderful thing about violet is the violet flower. Amita is an epitome of elegance and grace. Violet symbolizes the most poetic color in the rainbow. So then let me just sum it up by saying that whether it's Amita's nimbleness around the computer keyboard or her elegant dance moves or her genuine involvement as VPAT VPAT, she truly makes me believe that if there should be a color of love, it should be violet. I hope I did justice to what Amita is. Thank you.
I think you really did, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. Now, last, but certainly not the least, we have our dynamic, energetic, enthusiastic President Lyra Pinto. She says, within a wink of an eye, my term ended. In the process of learning, planning, and executing, I challenged myself to win over the trust and support of my Port Town family. I believe in the proverbial phrase, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Now, I take pride in stepping down and handing over the reins to President-elect, distinguished Toastmaster Maria Phyllis de Costa. As you notice, there are only 7 colors of the rainbow, and I have chosen the color white for Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, who represents an amalgamation of all the colors. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Maria Phyllis de Costa, who has a beautiful surprise for our president today.
I'm sorry, something happened to my PC, so we're back to a mobile. So sorry. I couldn't handle the PC. There's some problem with the mouse. So here we are in a small screen.
You're visible, Lyra. You're looking good, both of you.
Yeah.
Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her. Infinite is her variety, said Shakespeare in Antony and Cleopatra, Act 2, Scene 2. And now I say the same to Lyra in her on this day. The word Lyra means a summer constellation of the northern sky, which resembles a lyre. It includes a bright star too. True to your name, Lyra, you were the star of Port Town Toastmasters during a tough year from 2020 to 2021. During your tenure, you proved to yourself and to the world that nothing is impossible and bagged the highest number of awards for the club, warranting a grand entry into the Hall of Fame. You took the team along and worked faithfully. You went the proverbial second mile. You showed us how determination, dedication, and discipline can get us the stars. You were stubborn with yourself and never let go of a single occasion to excel. You rose to the occasion when roll takers couldn't make it to the meetings and demonstrated warmth and willingness to serve. What was special about you was that you were generous with your words of appreciation and patient with those who didn't meet your expectations. Like a good leader, you prodded members to complete their parts, thus adding laurels to the club while giving due credit to the members. Focused on what you wanted the club to achieve, you forged ahead and gained the credit members rightly deserved. You worked 24/7 at your post and sent gentle reminders or words of encouragement to the members. As a mentor, you were prompt, patient, and punctual at meetings. You showed us the way to excellence. Even as roles change for the coming year, The members of the club feel assured that you will continue to serve the club with the same enthusiasm and interest you have displayed so far. You will remain in our hearts as a president who did it all that takes the club to raise the bar high and take the club to heights as never before. Port Town Toastmasters will remain ever grateful to you for your tireless service, and you will be remembered for your loving kindness, generosity, and sincerity in the years to come. Lyra, you spell love, warmth, and kindness, devotion to duty, and commitment to responsibility. This token of love, appreciation, and gratitude is presented to Toastmaster Lyra Pinto, President of Port Town Toastmasters,
Phyllis,
on 23rd June.
please
On
keep it between the
23rd.
two of you, facing the screen. Keep it between the two of you, facing the screen, down. Yes. Lyra, come a little closer to Phyllis. Yes. Radhika, will you please click? Radhika, will you please, or should I?
I got a picture for now, but it's not very clear, but I have one.
I have also clicked.
Okay. Okay.
They have clicked. You can continue. I think they are
on the 23rd of June, 21.
What, Malini?
Nothing. Connectivity problem.
Somebody. Okay.
With a lot of love.
Hi.
Phyllis, keep smiling. We want to see you smile.
Okay, she has smiled, and we have
at this
last meeting. Lyra asked all others to give a standing ovation to Vidya. So may I now request all of you to give a standing ovation to Lyra, outgoing president.
Thank you. Thank you, dear all. Thank you, Phyllis. And I mean what I told you. I promised you I surely be by your side. And whenever members need help, I will always be there. That's the person I am as of now. Thank you. Thank you, dear Port Towners.
I am assured of your support.
Thank you all once again. If I speak more, I'll have tears. So thank you for all the love showered on me, and for whatever you all have done. It's all because of you. Port Town has come so far. Thank you once again.
I think it's a very fitting end that we finally acknowledged all of it. Madam President, you have done it all. And the fact that you have no words and you cannot say any words says a lot, Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for encouraging all of us. Thank you so much for always being there.
Yeah, one picture.
Being a reminder. Oh, okay, just 1 minute.
I took.
All right, being our reminder, our timer, you were our PTAT master. Just we have the Zoom master in our Zoom meetings. Thank you for it all. Yes, we have taken a picture.
This is for Lyra and her team.
Yeah. She can do that.
I can see Dr. C.K. Balal raising his glass to you and to the board of 2020-21.
Cheers.
Yes, thank you, Doctor.
It's for you to guess what it is. Any guesses?
Orange juice.
No.
Apple cider.
No.
Panaka.
Apple cider is
fruit.
a drop,
Passion
so it is
fruit.
not that.
Passion fruit.
No, this is zinc and vitamin C, amla, from Patanjali.
Oh. Yeah, doctor.
In the middle of it all, the doctor has given us one nice. I think in the middle of it all, yes, the doctor has given us a nice hint to make sure that we take care of our health. With that, I say goodbye to you, Port Towners. Thank you for being part of my segment. And to the board, I hope you enjoyed your tiny little surprise. Thank you to all of the speakers who spoke so incredibly well. And thank you to the members of the board who have given us such a wonderful year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Over
you,
to the
Trisha, for
TMOD.
helping me all along with the posters.
1 minute, Lyra ma'am. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Trisha Lara D'Souza. And now I would like to hand over the microphone on the computer screen to our president, Lyra D'Souza, Lyra Pinto, who would like to say a few words.
Yeah. Thank you for making me a D'Souza, Lolly.
Too many D'Souzas were not what to do.
I know. Thank you.
Trisha D'Souza and Lyra D'Souza.
Yes.
Fabulous job. Yes.
It's okay. She made me Pinto many times, ma'am. So it's okay.
It's also right?
Yeah. Thank you. It was a very touching meeting, and I'm almost in tears. It's not that again because I'm stepping down, but still you have made this. Even though I have worked with my team for the entire year, this little moments you made me cherish, and I'll cherish these moments my entire life, dear Port Towners. Thank you for this biggest gift you have given to me. Thank you, one and all. Now is the time to announce the winners. The winner.
Are you ready for the birdie dance?
Yeah,
Are you
one minute.
ready to
One
do the
minute,
birdie
Prana.
dance?
Prana, 1 minute. Let me
All
just
right.
announce the best
Sorry.
speaker.
Okay.
Just 1 second. The best speaker for today is none other than Toastmaster Hilda Fernandez. Hilda, it's not fair. What is this? You're keeping on winning every time you speak. Congratulations, Hilda. And the best.
Thank you.
Could we have a round of applause for Hilda, please? Hilda. Hilda.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining Portal. Yeah, and the best evaluator goes to Toastmaster Mahesh Naik. Mahesh, be more regular. Hello, congratulations, Mahesh.
Thank you all.
Now, next session, dance time, evaluate. So
Lyra,
congratulations, everybody was equally good. Yes.
Lyra, before
Yes, Malini.
we have Frana's birdie dance, officially on record, I would like to express my appreciation, not gratitude, but appreciation for Phyllis, who made it a point to go to your place under the pretext of something, I don't know what is it, and to be with you so that she could have the pleasure of handing the citation to you in person. And when she told me that she would go to your place and give the citation, I said, no, don't spoil the surprise element, I said.
Oh, so you were behind it. Oh.
No, I was not behind it. It was her decision.
No.
It was her decision. But when she said she would go, I thought she would be spoiling the surprise element. But then she told me, no, she would act as though she had problems and be with you, sit next to you and keep it in a bag and take it out and all that.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know that.
The rich
Until she
emotional
pulled it out.
quotient. Thank you very much, Phyllis, for all the trouble taken with this citation and the greater trouble taken to be seated next to Lyra, to hand it to her. I don't think anyone, I wouldn't have taken that kind of trouble to be seated next to the president and to hand it. So thank you.
That was a surprise gift, Malini.
Yes.
Yeah, I never knew until she knocked on the door. Yes. Thank you, Phyllis, for that.
Lyra, back to you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so she's there for the night with you.
There is
No,
Phyllis.
no.
We can't see Phyllis.
Yeah.
Phyllis?
Before I adjourn the meeting, I'm gifting Phyllis a sapling, a symbol of the growth of PTAT so far. And Phyllis, this is to you. Nurture this club as you're nurturing this plant and let it grow in 3 folds. Congratulations and wish you all the best. And here is the plant, sapling, the wish symbol.
Come into the frame. I can see only Phyllis. I can't see anybody now. Okay.
On the internet. No, it's not good.
Can 1 second.
It's pouring outside.
Yes. Malini, now how do I do this? Yes.
No, we can't
Can
see.
we be
There is
Who
some
is this?
problem, I think.
here?
Put the plant in the middle. Yeah. Okay. Better.
No, no,
What is
I
this here?
spotlighted, but you are not seeing.
There's something coming in the way.
Yes.
Ah, yes. What is the something coming?
Okay, it's okay. I'm not able to capture you. Doesn't matter. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Laira, may I say that though it was not an in-person meeting, we did not feel
All
that
right.
we missed much
Thank you.
because of the screen and because of the gesture of you and Phyllis sitting together and this last gesture of you handing over a sapling to her. It made it feel as if we are there in person, and your sincere sentiments too. You had no hesitation in saying you are at a loss for words. I think that is a sign of a leader who can communicate. It was good, Laira. Good to see
Thank you. Thank you, Bharti. You had always told me, whenever you are in need, I am there. And you were there by my side, Bharti, whenever I needed you. Thank you. I will thank all of you all on the day when I officially stepped down. But if I have to thank everybody, it'll be open secret right now. Thank you. A special thanks to my dear DTM Urmila Shetty for that lovely gesture, for that contribution of yours to the club and to me in special. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Wish
Thank
Miss
you.
Matty was here. She was here, Matilda Pinto. I think she couldn't sit for long.
Are you adjourning the meeting now? Shall I stop recording?
Yes. So hereby I adjourn the meeting in all my style for the last time. So thank you. And I won't say goodbye.
No
Thank you once
adios. Exactly.